So in this video I basically just wanted to speak about some cultural differences, some of my experience living here, just life in general, I guess. And I will talk about these things and try not to be attacked by too many mosquitoes. As of now it's been quite calm here, but there are different places in the forest where they are just too much. I mean, you can't speak, you need to run. So I want to start off by saying that it has been a phenomenal year in so many ways. I've had some struggles too, especially throughout winter and the main part of spring as well, where it has just been so cold. I have not felt motivated. I felt lost in some ways, and I've also haven't had any luck with like social life. I thought it was going to be much easier with the social life here. You always hear about the southern hospitality. It's still very true, but it's quite difficult to make friends in my opinion. And I'm a cautious person, but I'm more or less social, and I guess I thought it would be a little bit easier to make friends. And so far I don't think I've made any friends during this year. I have some acquaintances, but it's true that I haven't really thrown myself out there either. I think I need to join something, like a hobby or a sport, or I don't know, a course or something. But for now I'm kind of relaxed. It's still summer here, so I'm taking it slow to come back into routine. Speaking of the social aspect, I find that it's quite funny when people assume that I'm from England for some reason. For example, when I was registering at the medical office, so to speak, or basically the healthcare center, I showed my passport. They knew my name. I believe I even said that I was Swedish, and the guy called someone to be able to register me because I'm not a Spanish citizen. And when he spoke to the other guy on the phone, he was like, I have an English girl here and she wants to register, blah 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 blah. And I was just looking at the person I went there with like, okay. English? Really? It's very interesting, and it's not the first time that happened. I guess they just see you as a foreigner, and by default they think you are from England. But well, it's quite funny actually. And I work as a teacher at a private academy in English actually. So it was also quite funny when my boss was like, yeah, because in Sweden your second mother tongue is English, right? And I was like, no, not really. I mean, I guess we are decent, but it's not our mother tongue at all. Like, we speak Swedish to each other. But she kept on with this idea that in Sweden we also speak English to each other. It feels like she's trying to convince herself that, yeah, but it's basically your mother tongue, right? Well, I mean, we can make ourselves understood. We can have a basic dialogue in general with an English speaker, but it's not our mother tongue. I have a feeling that people don't know what kind of t-shirts they buy here, because so many people walk around with strange messages on their t-shirts in English. and I don't think they know what it means. I'm a person who actually hates messages on t-shirts. I don't like when it's something written. Maybe it could be a brand or something, or just one word, or I don't know, something small like that. But when it's like a sentence, like this quote or this inspirational saying or something, I don't like it. And I like it even less when it's in incorrect English, or when you don't even know what they want to say. But yeah, I have come across quite a few of those t-shirts here. Another thing is that in Galicia they are quite superstitious. They believe in a lot of strange things that I find quite cute. And yeah, being a quite, I would say, spiritual person myself, I find these superstitions to be interesting, and I really like Galician mythology and all the things that they say. I have a little abuela here who goes by the moon phases a lot when she plants her vegetables, which is not something we do typically in Sweden. Maybe I know that there are superstitious people in Sweden too, but I think here is maybe more accepted. And yeah, abuelas ainas. And here they claim their place more, whereas in Sweden we are more apologetic if we are taking a place that we're not supposed to have, maybe. In Sweden it's very much like, I'm this position, you are that, the third person is after me. We hold the line. I think that in general here people are more confident. I have that feeling like people know their place. People stand with their both legs strongly in the position that they want. People are not so concerned about looks, in my opinion. From what I can tell, like in Sweden, if I go out with my friends one night, most likely all of us have made ourselves extra pretty, and most likely we will give each other compliments because of that, like, oh, you look so good tonight. But here it's not that common. And I noticed this because I was basically the only one doing that. I was like complimenting how people looked. For example, I was at a wedding 1 week ago, and all people dressed up really nice, and makeup and hair and everything, you know. And that was maybe the first time that I've heard all people give each other compliments. Other times when we are just having dinner or something, I think I'm the only one like giving compliments. And yeah, that's also something I'm not used to. I also want to add something to the social aspect, is that in Sweden we tend to hug each other a lot. When we meet our friends, we hug them, for sure, I think, unless you are in a group where you don't hug each other. Whereas here it's a little bit complicated. Like sometimes they kiss instead of hugging. They usually kiss each other here. one kiss per cheek, and that usually happens, but not always. Like if we're just meeting the friends in town for a coffee or beer or something, most likely we will not do nothing. We will just say hello to them. And to me that's strange. Like in my world you greet your friends in a more extra loving way, I guess. But here it's kind of the opposite. When you greet people you don't know, for sure you will kiss them and you will introduce yourself or whatever. But when you meet your friends, it's not always that clear. And actually one thing that happened last week on the wedding, I was going to tell the bride how beautiful she was and how nice everything was, and all of us hugged her or kissed. And after the first cheek kiss, I was not sure, should I kiss the other cheek too? And I guess she didn't expect that, so we almost kissed each other. And she got a little bit surprised. And yeah, so that was a funny, embarrassing moment, but well, it's the kind of things that happen, I guess. They know I'm a foreigner and I don't know how to do the things. It's really warm here in the sun, but I'm also liking it because I don't need to wave my hand in front of my face constantly. So maybe I will just sit down on this little rock. Another cultural difference that I've found is, on the contrary to what I just said about politeness in Sweden versus here in Galicia, I believe that Galicians tend to be more helpful instead. And also the reason why I love living in Galicia is that people treat other people how they want to be treated. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's really like that. That also means that I believe here in Galicia they are not as concerned as in Sweden about being perfect or being super professional or nothing like that. I remember I went to last year when I bought my Adolfo Dominguez bag. I went to the boutique in the city, and I asked them about the bag, and they picked it out for me, and they were fixing all the things. And then I was going to register because I could get like 15% off or something, so I was going to register as a customer, and the worker there, she got it wrong like 5 times or something. But she was like there relaxed, laughing at herself. Oh, okay, let's try again, you know. That would not happen in Sweden, let me tell you that. The customer would start to be like, okay, what's wrong with this person? They don't know their job, or what's the problem here? Whereas here I feel like they give you space for mistakes and they are not so hurried. And that shows to tell the kind of lack of customer service that we have in Sweden, in my opinion. Like, I prefer this more personal, this more authentic, like, I want to help you because I would like to have been helped if I were in your position. And another thing that could be quite controversial, I guess, is the fact that here you can park outside the supermarket that you're going to. I mean, I don't mean in the parking lot, I mean right outside the door. If you are just in out to grab milk or whatever, you can do. And you turn on the warning sign in the car, and no one is going to honk the car, or no one will call the police or whatever, because it is like that. It's more free. And I really like that. I know some people don't like that, and I can understand why, because I guess you are supposed to follow the rules. But I mean, sometimes, especially if you are in a bigger city, it's so difficult to find a parking lot. And I mean, if you're just going in and out in some place, I don't see the point of parking your car hundreds of meters away from the store for that little thing.